friends. I'll start from where it ended, Ayurveda and Sanskrit. We all know this word, being a Hindu, as Satyameva Jayate, truth alone prevails. But how many of us actually know the meaning of it? The Britishers put the Ashoka emblem and put Satyameva Jayate on that. Literal meaning means Satya ki Jai ho. What is Jai and what is Vijay? When you have a Vijay, there is a Parajay. And there's a Jai, is a supreme Jai. There is no Parajay. That is what Indian ethos is about. And we are talking about a development model for the Hindu development model, which is very, very different from the Western development model. The Hindu development model is based on satisfaction. Satisfaction is also the model for the Western world, but by maximizing and harnessing more and more wealth. While the Hindu model is to distribute wealth amongst people. That's where you get satisfaction. For example is if somebody has met with an accident in US, everyone knows what is to be done. 911. Everyone knows it. If somebody meets with an accident over here, what do? You call your nearest relative or your friend who's nearby to help you out. Inherent socialism is a part and culture of the Indian Hindu ethos. Again, the entire topic is about innovation and alternative energy. Is it really alternative? What we talk about renewable energy, solar, wind, hydro, is it alternative? I think it's a basic form of energy. And we as Hindus know this basic form of energy since, I think, Harappan civilization. Rather, we are so imbibed in it, we have gods for everyone. We have a sun god, we have a wind god, we worship water, rivers. So, and who understands the basic form of energy more than us? Unfortunately, the fallacy is that we are rediscovering it from the Western world. It is the Western world which is teaching us what alternative energy is. While we know it so very well, what alternative energy means and what is the importance of that. But the modern era of alternative energy, as we talk it today, has its roots in industrialization. The moment the industrial revolution happened, there was a need for energy, and it started with coal, and then shifted to oil, then to gas, nuclear, and finally to renewables. Why? Why this sudden shift? Because the cost of energy became expensive. It was only coal before. Coal became so expensive that people had to move out to something, an alternative source. They found oil. And in the Western world used huge amount of cheap energy to industrialize the revolution. And when the oil became expensive in 1971, we had the oil crisis. When the oil operating countries, oil generating countries realized the importance of oil as a natural resource and started increasing the prices, people started looking at nuclear. Nuclear has got its own set of issues in terms of safety and all. So finally, they found the alternative as renewables. Why? Again, the benchmark is very clear. It's an economic imperative, cheaper source of energy, and a long-term source of energy. And now, the definition of renewable energy, as I call it, not alternative energy, resides on three major parameters. First and foremost thing is energy security. Unfortunately, God Almighty has not been kind enough to give the same amount of natural resource to every country. Some has got more coal, some has got more oil, some has got hydro, lots of things. So what is important is your interdependence for cross-boundary, for import of fuel, is so high, it may hamper your economy. So you look inward, looking at the natural resource available within your country, within your geography, local resources, which is alternative energy. So energy security is a key parameter which is driving alternative energy today. The second is growth, because every economy needs to grow, and growth can't happen if you don't have electricity or energy. So again, the growth is another important pillar for pushing alternative energy. And off late is global warming. Let's not debate that is global warming happening or not. Assume that it's happening. And if it is happening, then I think a lot needs to be done. The good part is that Asia particularly, which has a fair amount of Hindu community, is progressing very, very fast in alternative energy. The reason being very clear, unfortunately we don't have access to cheaper fossil fuel. So we have no other option than to go for harnessing alternative energy. But today, most of the energy is harnessed by either India or China, and I think in the coming years, the other countries would definitely pick up because a fair amount of importance has gone into it. As you call it innovation in India we call it jugaad. It's a very literal translation. But innovation is not a jugaad. Innovation is, I define it as a necessity to develop or to adopt a particular approach in the limited resource you have to meet the objective, the end objective. And particularly as far as India is concerned, Suzlon belongs to India. We started our operations in India in 1995. And my chairman used to have a textile company. And in textile, people who are from textile sector over here would agree with me that 30% of the cost for a textile mill is energy cost. And this energy cost keeps on rising, making textile units unviable over a long-term time. At that point of time, my chairman put up a small windmill to offset the energy cost, so that since wind doesn't have a fuel cost, you can have the same cost of energy for a longer period. And when he did that, he realized I should shift to a different field, from textile to alternative energy. And that's how we started creating manufacturing wind power in India. And you'll be surprised, there's a great cluster of textile mills in Tirupur in southern part of India. 80% of the textile mills have invested into windmill projects. And they're still surviving because the cost of electricity is as low as 1 rupee. When all textile mills are dying across India, Tirupur still survives only because of energy cost. And obviously, apart from lots of other things, being an Indian company, we designed the wind turbine for Indian conditions, and now other companies have also followed it. And today, we are operating in close to 32 countries. The 5th largest in the world, installed more than 22,000 megawatts across the world. That's all I had to share. But before I end, I just wanted to give you some small broad statistics. By December 2012, across the world, almost 280,000 megawatts of installation had happened from wind power only. Now, a lot of people may not know this, and India itself has got 20,000 megawatt of wind power. These are things, the real statistics, and these things are growing in a big way. I'll end it over here. Before that, I'll just it's a very interesting brochure. If you see the back side of the brochure, there's Samudra Manthan. Very important. What does Samudra Manthan gives? Amrit. Everyone knows it. But to have that Amrit, you need to require a force and a counter force. Unfortunately, most of the time, we either have 2 forces or 2 counter forces. So it's very important to have a force and a counter force so that the Amrit comes out. Thanks.